since I have a lot of videos on judges, not any judges, but judges of highest instance courts in Serbia being involved in, deeply involved in international organized crime, like the ones described in these 4 videos. There are a lot of them in other videos. So it's now normal to finish up the whole thing with showing who are the ministers of justice. So not just current one, but the previous one. Both are females, and as the articles that I'm going to show proves, they are also deeply involved in international organized crime. I showed in this video and in these 2 other videos that I have 45 counts on international organized crime related to Serbia. Here it is. That's here in this video. So these 2 pieces of shit that I'm now going to present are also responsible for that, normally, because they are ministers of justice. So the trick they are using, I mean, they never answered me, only their deputy, I think that she's still a deputy, so Ministry of Justice. Jelena Deretić, Deputy Minister of Justice. So only she answered, and she used the same trick that all state institutions are using. So that's the trick that they claim judges are independent in their decisions. That's true, but when judges break the law, that means they need to be prosecuted. Of course, first reported. So there must be a crime report filed to not just prosecution in charge, but also to consuls, high consuls of judiciary in case of judges, and high consul of prosecution in case of prosecutors. Of course, there are a lot of videos on prosecutors brutally breaking the laws. For instance, this guy who is prosecutor, Tomislav Kilibarda, who is chief prosecutor of prosecution of appeals in Belgrade. This is one of the highest instance prosecutions in Serbia, in any other state. So they are just pretending. When I say they, again, I mean state institutions. I mean, not just state institutions. I have a lot of private firms here mentioned who are also covering up monstrous murders of 3 members of my family. So this is monster who murdered 3 members of my family and also poisoned 3 kids, 3 minors. This is her sister, who gave guarantees for her. Both of these 2 monsters and pieces of shit have major psych issues. I gave more details in this video. Who is protecting them. So that's the guy. He's a communist, die-hard commie, and he is directly related to former ambassador, U.S. ambassador in Belgrade, William Dale Montgomery. So now I'm going to show first the former Minister of Justice NELA KUBUROVIC. This is a really rare surname in Serbia. It means that she's Tsigani. Difference between Tsiganis or half Tsigani is so difference between Tsiganis and Gypsies are a major one. So Gypsies are from Egypt and Tsiganis are from India. So Tsigani or Roma. So Roma is a name that they gave it to themselves. Their name was their name here at least in Balkans was Tsigani, which is from Greek atsigani, meaning untouchables, because they are the lowest possible caste. This social group, so it's not even a caste, it's out of the system of castes in India, so lowest to the lowest. This is why they changed the name to get rid of that heritage. I'm going to explain that in another video, but anyways, my point is that she's not Serbian and she's also extremely stupid. So these are the articles from magazine Tabloid. I will explain right now who they are. So about her involvement, this is that piece of shit. About her extremely stupid, moron and piece of shit. So in these articles, so as you can see there are a lot of articles. You just search for tabloid. This is what I searched. So before I continue with the other with details about this piece of shit and other piece of shit who is currently the Minister of Justice. So she was Minister of Justice. I think until actually I can check out her Wikipedia page, but before that I need to explain this tabloid. So this is news magazine. I think that it is monthly. There is monthly edition of that magazine. So once in a month they publish there's a new edition. So they are the guy who is director, I guess, of this is a company, of course, is this guy. So he's the controlled opposition, but not any controlled opposition, but controlled opposition which mentions the foreign diplomats, foreign factor in his articles. So there are really top journalists who works for this guy. So he's probably the only one who mentions connections with international organized crime related to Serbia and foreign diplomats. So even some of the top of the United States administration. But when he does that, and his journalists they are pushing the story about so-called deep state. So deep state doesn't exist. That's rubbish. And I mentioned him in, for instance, actually there are recent videos. I mentioned him here in this video. But I think that I mentioned more the other guy who is also pushing that story about the deep state. So he has the most compromising information on current politicians, not just current, the ones who are not really active now, but they are somehow related to crime and corruption in Serbia, international organized crime. So I mentioned that guy in, for instance, in videos like this. So this is more than enough to show how important this is. So he was covering up illegal arms trade in Serbia. That's international organized crime. He and the other guy, he's so-called politician. I don't think if he's mentioned here. So arms. So actually he's mentioned in one videos I recently uploaded. So this one. This is video on on the judge of Court of Appeals, so one of the highest instance courts, Miodrag Majic, deeply involved in cover-up of illegal arms trade of Serbia, and in that video I mentioned this guy. He's a politician. I don't know if he's still in some political party, Srđan Nogo. He was also pushing that that story about deep state, and as it can be seen here, it says that American agent John Neighbor is behind one of the scandals related to illegal arms trade. So in order to make them credible, these two pieces of shit, so that guy Milovan, by the way, his name is Milovan Brkic, as it says here. He is the senior journalist or veteran journalist, whatever. So in order to make them credible, to hide the more important truth when time comes. So this is a regular strategy that they are using. So they are telling a lot of truth. For instance, magazine tabloid, they have, as I said, the most compromising information, pieces of information on not just politicians, Serbian politicians quoted, but also on a lot of foreign diplomats, foreign politicians. As I said, some of them are at the top of US administration. So they have those information. The only source that can give them those informations are state and military intelligence. So they are on purpose giving those information to make them credible. And when the time comes, as the time has come in that case of illegal arms trade, they were pushing the story on deep state being involved in that, which is rubbish, and you just need to watch my videos. I mean, this one is more than enough, and this one. So this shows that United States Department of Justice is hiding their tweet where I posted replies on legal arms trade. So I posted that in July, 7th of July 2021. So that tweet is there, but it's hidden. So I have that tweet saved in one of my emails. So ID of that tweet, address of that tweet, and when I tried to access it, it was the replies were hidden. When I logged in, replies were there, so everything was there as it was in July 2021. So they are hiding tweets, so United States Department of Justice Twitter account. So it's not a joke, it's a major deal. So let's continue with these two pieces of shit. So as I said, first is NELA KUBUROVIC, this moron. So she doesn't have any any experience, didn't have any, I mean, still doesn't have any experience. So when she became Minister of Justice, this is one of the best articles showing who she really is, how she made it, how she became Minister of Justice. So she doesn't have any sort of experience. She was working as probably some assistant, I guess. Let me see, where is it? Yeah, so this is the beginning. So she was working first district court, and she proved herself on many tables. I mean, lying on the tables, which means that she's a slut. And especially president of that court, Vojkan, I don't know what's his, actually I can check it out. So, Vojkan. Well, I cannot see that here. Anyways, so the president of that first district court in Belgrade was tried her in all positions, which means sex, which means that she's a slut. This is how she came into power, quoted. Of course, she's just a puppet. She just does what pieces of shit from foreign embassies tell her to do. And what is also important, it gets worse as you are reading this article. I'm not really going into details. You have this article, you can run it through the through Google Translate, and this is written in some sort of what's the name of that kind of writing? I cannot now remember. So anyways, it is written as if she wrote that, as if she admitting what she's done. But of course, since this is here for a very long time, for I don't know, probably more than 4-5 years, it's there. And as I said, it must be there to give credibility to this faker. So he's also important. There is one more important thing I haven't mentioned about this guy and about tabloid. Tabloid were the first newspapers to publish that wife of Vlade Divac, that piece of shit, that so-called basketball player. So this is from 2021. So women of wife wife of Vlade Divac, that piece of shit basketball player, he's by the way also called Cigani. She hit and ran a guy on the bridge, and then she ran away. So the first one to publish this was magazine Tabloid. This is why Vlade Divac moved to United States, and this is still ongoing case, even in 2021. I don't know when, I don't remember when this exactly happened, but I can check. Yeah, in 2014, and after 7 years, and I think it's still a major deal. So Tabloid was the first. I don't have a video, but I recorded everything in case somebody removes this. So they were the first newspapers to publish that Snezhana, so her real name is Snezhana, which can be translated as Snow White. So she changed her name, I don't know, officially or unofficially, to Anna, to be more suitable for the West. And she, or maybe somebody of someone from her family, hit a guy and ran away. So another thing that I need to mention regarding tabloid is that there was a article on United States ambassador. I don't know what year that was, I think 2014. They published on United States ambassador being involved in a major pedophilia case in Serbia. That case is temporarily covered up. I mentioned everything in this video. So their article, which was which was the original article on that. So it was around 2014 when this article was written. I think that she wrote it, I'm not sure, but that article is now gone. I managed to find only one article on that, and of course it is in this video. So I might try to find it again. So actually it's here. Wow, yeah, it's here. I don't know how how I wasn't able to find it. Yeah, it's definitely so let's see. So I think this is a reduced version. But as can be seen here, the ambassador was the one who most frequently visited those places where the which are related to that pedophilia scandal. So it was a major deal in 2021, and it's when the role of U.S. ambassador, so it says here American ambassador, when it turned out that American ambassador was the one who visited those places related to where those pedophilia orgies took place, then it was covered up right away. But it's of course temporary. Those things cannot be covered up. It's too big. Okay, so that's actually not removed. I don't know how I wasn't able to find it, but unfortunately I cannot see the date of it. Unfortunately, maybe I can see it here. More than 10 years ago. Wow, yeah. Cool. So more than 10 years ago they wrote about that, and it was maybe even a controlled breakout scandal in 2021, but it was soon after that covered up. So I think that they are the ones who wrote first on that, although judging by this by the length of this article, I that might not be the case, but one of the first newspapers who wrote on that. So that's a major deal. So which means that their pieces of information are credible because the source is again state and the military intelligence of Serbia. Okay, so let's continue with that piece of shit, NELA KUBUROVIC, half Cigani slut. So as you read this, it gets worse because some foreign diplomats are mentioned here, like this guy Tony Verhieno, whatever. This is the World Bank. So it says here that she was trying to seduce him. So she was not just slut for people from court. In first place, that president of court, I don't know what's his surname, but she was, when she became minister, slut for foreign diplomats. That's a major deal. So not some desk jockey diplomats, but top diplomats. So this is of course prostitution ring. It's international organized crime. So that was about that piece of shit, moron and half Cigani stupid bitch, former Minister of Justice. So let's see what Wikipedia says about her time being as an assistant judge. Yeah, right. As a clerk, okay. High Council of the Judiciary, just like that. Yeah, it's High Council of Judiciary. Then Deputy Minister. This guy is, he's a male slut, by the way. I need to mention that. So he, okay, I first need to finish up this regarding. So in 2016 she became so she kept her office. Okay. So that other guy who is now the Minister of Labor, he's mentioned in one of my latest videos here. He also, as Minister of Labor, now covers up monstrous murders of my family. They moved that monster who murdered 3 members of my family to nursing home, trying to save her from prison. And his colleagues from Center for Social Work are ignoring me. That cannot happen. That cannot happen with him knowing. So this guy, as I said, was the male slut for the other guy who committed suicide as I think ambassador in Portugal. So. So it says here, he was the boyfriend of Oliver Antic. Oliver Antic is, as I said, so yeah, Serbian ambassador in the in Portugal. He fell, supposedly fell. His family claims he fell from the I think it's called cliff in Serbian. In English I need to check it out. So cliff was called mouth of hell. His family claimed that he slipped, but official story is that he committed suicide, and he was so it says here it's Portugal. And some ambassador in Portugal, and he did that because he was so he was touching inappropriately a girl, 9-year-old girl, that Oliver Antic. That's the guy, that piece of shit. So he was a professor at law university in law faculty in Belgrade, and that guy Selakovic was his boyfriend. So he was a male slut basically, that Selakovic guy. And you can see what this guy does. So it says here reported because he I need to translate this. So this is that cliff where he committed suicide. So I can translate this just. And I need to add K here. So a leaked document that sheds new light on that Ambassador Antic in Portugal. It was reported that he induced a girl 9 to have sex. So these are top so-called politicians of Serbia. Another case of pedophilia, and again, as I said here, there are a lot of information, piece of information on pedophilia in Serbia. It's a major deal here, but everyone are trying to cover it up. What I forgot to mention about this guy, I mean, I'm going sort of off topic, but it is important because that Cigani Moran KUBUROVIC was the deputy of Prime Minister Selakovic, so it is related. I'm just trying to show who these pieces of shit are, and of course cliff, yeah, it's a cliff, I was right. So that was about NELA KUBUROVIC. Now to current Prime Minister MAJA Popovic, real piece of shit and stupid bitch. So tabloid. So you can see how many articles are on that moron. And the one who is again, these are credible. Magazine tabloid are credible, and of course the whole story about this magazine and other controlled opposition is the same as in other countries. So there are multiple, what's the right term, the fractions of controlled opposition. They're all pushing different stories, and it is very interesting when they clash between each other. A lot of information which should be hidden pops up. This is really interesting in certain cases. So those factions exist in order to confuse people as much as possible. And again, the main rule is tell the truth, but only the part which is not important. So let's go back to this moron MAJA Popovic. So this one is, I think, the best article. I mean, no, our articles should be read about this moron and other moron, NELA KUBUROVIC, but I think this tells the most. So it says here that she was first off, again Milica Grabež, the one who wrote 10 years ago that article on American ambassador involved in major pedophilia scandal. So it says here that Maja Popovic, current Minister of Justice, faked her bio, her CV. She started as a lawyer for emergency service in some hospital in Belgrade. This is how she. This shows her knowledge and experience. So, and suddenly she started working in the state intelligence. She was even the counselor of the guy who was at the time director of state of intelligence. He's state intelligence, sorry. So this is the guy on the right. He is now Minister of Interior, deeply involved in international organized crime, Bratislav Gašić, which means that she is also involved in in international organized crime, because she was his counselor. I'm trying to find that part. Okay. Yeah, it says here, special counselor of director. So this is another, what kind of mafia rules in Serbian Serbian judiciary. Another one on her, on this piece of shit. So let's see. So this is about her career. You can figure out that she's extremely stupid, as the previous Minister of Justice, real moron, stupid bitch. And according to this article, she's involved in the illegal children. I mean, children trafficking is always illegal. So she's involved in children trafficking, and while she was in the state intelligence, Serbian state intelligence, Serbian quoted, state intelligence was giving her tips about the kids that should be, children that should be trafficked. So this is I mean, it's not funny, this is scandal in its own, huge scandal. So she is involved in children trafficking, basically abduction of children. And of course, as his predecessor, KUBUROVIC, she was also involved in all these other scandals, such as illegal arms trades. So she's deeply, as her predecessor, in the international organized crime. So just a second, I don't know if I showed her picture. So that's her, Minister of Justice of Serbia. That's official page. That's the moron. And it is what else should be noticed? Well, not about her, but about that previous moron. She has a lot of makeup, which is something that you must not do as an official. That's no. Huge no for somebody, no go for somebody who is official. So actually cannot be seen here, but she has a lot of makeup on her face. Okay, so that would be all regarding regarding two ministers of justice, former and current, and this shows why there are so many judges and prosecutors involved in deeply involved in illegal arms trade. This is 0. This is this was 4. This was 4. This was 4. So YouTube is constantly decreasing my views, showing what bothers them. Now they decreased for 8th time. This is 8th time that they decreased. I'm mentioning this is off topic, sort of. So this is 8th time that they decreased to 0 views on a really rare cancer that I have in my eye, and which is caused by Russian doctors. So United States federal government, which is behind YouTube, that's a proven fact. I proved it. So this video is more than enough, and there are a lot of other videos. So United States federal government is protecting Russian federal government. So it sounds unbelievable, but this is what's happening. So these are videos. On that, I simply needed to mention in the context of removing views. So YouTube removing views shows that I'm right, that everything I presented is correct. So one more time, thank you YouTube for doing that. So, and that would be all regarding two ministers of justice deeply involved in international organized crime.